Hi. Um, Hi. I've been sick all week, so I'm literally filming this the day that it comes out, which also means I'll probably be doing that for Sunday's video as well. Um, and if you can't tell, I've lost my voice mostly. So, here we are. I wanted to make a video like this for a little while now, and I think every time I go to sit down and try and do it, I can't really formulate my words properly the way that I want to. And I journaled and wrote a letter and everything to just like get my shit out about this topic, which did help actually. And I've gone therapy and everything, that you could possibly think of. And I thought about what's left. What's on my list that I usually do that I haven't done yet on this topic that's bothering me. And it was this. And I guess we can call this a crying corner. Even though I'm not crying, but I am throwing hands. I have been very transparent on this channel for years now, for a long, long time. And that's in regards to a really toxic, emotionally abusive relationship that I was in for pretty much 3 years. And I don't regret that at all. I don't regret sitting in front of my camera and crying and talking about my emotions because I was isolated so much in that time due to this person. And growing up on the internet from the age of 11 with literally no break at all in that time frame, you're bound to kind of cope in strange ways, I guess. And I think the reason that this subject is still bothering me is mostly because every time I think about it, which isn't a lot, but every time I do think about it, I get really angry. I get angry at myself for letting myself stay in that shit hole of a place with a dickhead. And I get angry for allowing myself to be treated that way. I get angry that someone who claims to love you so much can treat you so badly for like repetitively, like not just a one-off, oh I fucked up, like a consistent I'm gonna abuse you type beat. And I think there's anger when there's no closure, right? And the thing is about me is I always say this: these motherfuckers come back. And by that I mean every person who in my life has ever done me wrong has come back to apologize, to try and be mates again, whatever the scenario. And it happens in very funny ways as well. Like I remember, I'm sorry if they're watching this, they probably are because I know they're obsessed with me. But I mean, like I'm talking about every single person I'm thinking about, because it ain't just exes. But there was two girls, for example, that were assholes to me in sixth form, proper twat, dickheads. And I have no hate against them whatsoever, no grudges, no nothing. But during COVID, because it was COVID, they reached out in the first like couple months of it to be like, I'm so sorry. I don't remember what I did to you, but I just remember you're really upset with me, and I'm really sorry. And I thought we could be friends again. And when I said no, they blocked me. And it's just like these motherfuckers always come back. And I think the difference about this is like, don't really want. I don't know. I say that and then it's like, but I do want closure. So it's like, what do you really want? I think it would cause a lot of anxiety if this person came back to apologize. But at the same time, if they did, and just to apologize, I ain't saying I want nothing to do with this man. Nothing. 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 I want nothing. See, I'm getting choked up with the idea of it. Nothing. I want nothing to do with this person. As in our personal lives. You stay there, I stay here. That's it. I'm good with that. My life is brilliant since I left you. But closure wise, I think yes, there would be anxiety if they messaged me to apologize, but I think I'd get a lot of closure from it. And I think I've got it into my head that that's never going to happen. Whether that's tomorrow or in 10 years' time, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's still not going to happen. And I think I'm doing that as a safety precaution to be like, you're safe. Like, they're not going to try and like fucking come back into your life and do this. And I don't think he's going to do that. It would be nice to get an apology, because when you cause the amount of pain that you cause to someone that you love and care about, whether you love and care about them anymore is not the topic of conversation. It just makes me feel like if you don't even have it in you to turn around and apologize, you're a psychopath. Psychopath. No? No? Because I'm talking about an emotional abuser here. What do I think they're going to be? Jumping off of rainbows? What the fuck am I on about? No, it makes sense. Like, I know what. I don't know. I do know, actually. I know a lot. But I just think it's the first time where I've actively given myself closure or been in that process with the idea in my head of like, I'm never going to get that closure from that person, so I might as well just give it to myself. Because in the past, I've healed from shit and I've given myself closure, but I never actively thought about, are they going to come and give me closure themselves? It was just, I'm going to give myself this closure, and then they ended up giving it to me anyways. So there's like an active part, there's like a conscious part in my brain this time. And I know why that is. I know it's because, listen, I have been physically abused in relationships. I have been assaulted. Everything that you can think about does happen to me, especially in relationships. Yet an emotional abuser hurt me more than all of that. Than all of that combined. That's why. Because it was the most painful experience out of the lot. And you're probably thinking, more than physical? Yes, more than physical abuse. Yes, more than assault. Because in those scenarios, I don't know whether it was the timing or whatever factors came into it, but there was like a lack of, this is awful, shock. And like, there were things leading up to those moments where it was like, yeah, this makes sense. But with this person, I was manipulated into thinking, this person loves me so much. Oh my god. Oh my god, he'd do anything for me. Anyways, no one tell his new girlfriend that he's still posting songs about me. And before you say, are you lucky? No, I'm not. We got mutual friends. I don't ask for shit. I don't look for shit. Let's get one thing straight. So yeah, I think there's a lot of anger in me that I spoke. This is what I spoke about with my therapist. I was like, look, I don't miss the motherfucker. I don't think about him the way that I used to. Like, I used to be a 24/7 thing. I got a new man's. I got new friends, including my best friend that I've always had, Flo. But a lot of them are men, and a good bunch of them I've dated since leaving my ex. Prior to being with my boyfriend, obviously, I'm not a hoe like my ex. And I've had so many nice experiences and have people in my life that actually love me, that I'm like, oh my god, I'm so angry that I let myself be treated this way. How did I let that happen for so damn long as well? Dumbass. Dummy. And I said that to my therapist, and I was like, I don't think about him the way that I used to, or as much at all. I don't miss him. I don't wish that was me. You know, there's none of those emotions. But yeah, I've got this anxiety and like this PTSD, this like trauma of like, and anger, like mostly anger and frustration, mostly those emotions. But it's like a swirl of like, imagine a vanilla swirl ice cream that you get from an ice cream van. And instead of ice cream and whatever the fuck is swirled into it, It's like anxiety, PTSD, and anger all in one. That's how I feel when I think about the situation. And I actually often find myself feeling like that. And it always goes back to that. Even when I'm not actively thinking about it, my body, my nervous system is having a reaction to that. It's like, you are alone right now. Like, if I'm just chilling, doing nothing, my body's like, why is nothing going wrong? Why are you not crying? You're in bed. All we used to do is cry in bed. So my nervous system is like, something's wrong because you're fine. So I'm not used to a healthy relationship like I'm in one now. I'm not used to the healthy love from men, even in a friendship way that derived from a romantic way. I'm not used to none of this. So my nervous system is having a fucking heyday. And that's when I get even more frustrated because I'm like, this motherfucker, this specky cunt who his literal personality. Ah! No, this shames me because I dated this, but anyways. His literal personality is Reading Festival. Sorry, I'm getting too specific now. He knows who he is. He doesn't need me to. Anyways, but how did I let this motherfucker fuck me up this bad? And the thing is, I know this man so well that in my head, I'm like, if he watched this, which wouldn't surprise me, even though he lives with his girlfriend, um, he'd have like two reactions. One would be like, "Oh, why is she talking about me? She's so obsessed." Blah, 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 blah. And then the other side of him would be like, "Oh, I love you so much. I care about you. I really did. I really loved you." And I love ice cream, so get fucked and go away. But then that's my initial reaction, right? But then my main reaction in my head is like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, are we joking? Are we having a giggle?" Because it's just funny. And then if he just watched that bit, he's gonna be like, no, that's not how I'd react at all. Apologize then. I'd love to see you do it. Seriously. Because as much as it would cause anxiety, it's also a given that you should be giving apologies to people that you traumatize. Not just hurt, but traumatize. I have too many feelings about this situation. So yeah, as I was saying, my therapist basically said that all of these emotions and feelings that I'm having is because I'm not coming to terms with the fact, or I am, but I'm angry with the fact that this motherfucker still takes space up in my brain. And it's true. Because I'm very used to being like, oh, you're gone. Who are you? And that's it. And I do feel that way about this person. It's like, what's your name? But then the anxiety, because of the nervous system reaction to the PTSD of this abuse, this emotional abuse, I can't physically do that the way that I used to. Like when I was physically hit by my first boyfriend, after I let go, it took a while. Don't get me wrong, because it was your first love as well. But it took a while. But once I was done, I was done. I was like, bye. Who are you? I can't hear you. Who are you? Exactly. No one. Bye, bitch. That's how I feel about everyone that hurts me. Because it's like, have you seen me? Not everyone can say that they've been friends with or dated or been in love with or been loved by a model, an actress, an entrepreneur. But you can. And that's sad because if someone asks me, I deny it. I deny it. And then I cough on them. Yeah, I am. I'm angry that this person takes space up in my brain because it's like I'm not used to the PTSD and the trauma. And also, I think the other things that happened to me, I was so young that it shaped me, but I also kind of forgot what that was like. I barely remember the emotions I felt during those situations. I kind of dissociated out of them. But this went on for so long in my adulthood that I'm like, I'm stuck with this motherfucker forever. Don't get me wrong. I know this motherfucker thinks about me. Let's not even have this conversation. If he's watching this, I know I know it. Let's not lie. Let's not lie. But I don't care about that. That means nothing. I said it to my therapist. You can care about someone. You can love someone from afar. I don't even want to use that word in regards to this man. But like, you can care about someone from afar. You can feel sorry from afar. You can feel loads of emotions for someone from afar. I'm not denying that. That's cool. That's fine. But that means fuck all. That means nada. That means nothing if you don't do shit about it. And I don't mean fucking pester someone to forgive you. It's a very fine line. I'm talking about, hey, I know we haven't spoken in a long time and you probably don't want to hear from me, but it's been laying on my consciousness for a while that I treated you like absolute crap on the bottom of my shoe, like the scum that I am. And I just really wanted to apologize because I really am sorry and I did care about you and I should have shown you that because you deserve that. Is it that hard? Is that hard? Is that hard? She says no. This is bitch, by the way. Love her. So yeah, it's kind of like, and the thing is about this one as well is that I know him, and I know in his head he's like, oh, she never want to talk to me again. That's why I don't apologize. Like I want to, but she'll never want to hear from me. Like she doesn't want to hear from me. She's doing better. She's doing better. I am doing better, but you can still apologize. Two things can be, what's the word? Oh fuck! It's my favorite phrase as well. Two things can coexist at the same time. There you go. So that's my thought on this. I honestly had a lot more anger built up in me prior to journaling and writing letters out to release and whatever. But I got that mostly out of my system. And I also like lost my cat in that time, so I was like, I don't care about anything. But now my cat's on my ribs, tattooed. If that didn't make any sense. Anyways, so do I hope all abusers die? Yes, I do. I do. I have since I was 13, and I will continue to. Do I understand people who need closure, want closure, even if that's like an anxiety inducing idea? Or like an idea that seems very far from possible. Absolutely. Of course I do. I'm in that boat. I get it. I want that closure of like, I was a dickhead. You were an angel. I'm sorry. You deserve better. But also there's an evil part of me that's like, I just want him to get run over. I don't need an apology. Just run him over. And the thing is I will say, is when I say that people get angry at me. But let me tell you something. I never phrase it like that. I phrase it like, I hope you get your karma. And every motherfucker, aside from coming back to me in the past and apologizing or whatever, have all got their karma as well. Every motherfucker, every motherfucker, every motherfucker. I think it's the Greek ancestors, you know. So in my head, I'm like, when I think of those thoughts, I'm like, just karma will do it for me, whether it's now or in 10 years' time. That motherfucker will get it for what he did to me. And also, like, the idea of getting closure is like, oh, I can't be this angry anymore if they apologize. And I want to be angry. Like, there's this anger in me that's like, fuck you. Hope you step on Lego whilst you're choking on your food. So I don't know. It's mixed emotions, mixed feelings, my loves. Um, and I just think my takeaway is I don't know. It's a process. Everything is a process. I'm aware it's not linear. I don't know how to I think, like, in my head, I'm like, how do I get rid of this, like, fucking anxiety and anger mixed with that PTSD? It's like I'm struggling to heal that by myself. And I think, like, a part of my head is like, the only way to get it is closure. So that part of my brain is like, oh, I want him to, like, apologize. Like, I just want him to apologize. It would probably make things so much fucking easier for me. But then it's like, but if I talk to him, I will hurt him. I'm joking. No, am I? Yeah, it's a very mixed bag. It's a very heavy thing for me that I'm trying to make light. And every time I feel that anxiety or I think about it and I feel that mix of horrid, heavy emotions, I'm like, you know what? I've just got to remind myself. I'm not the one that lost a model, babe. You are. And my life is so much better, seriously. I am so happy. I love my boyfriend. He's amazing. He's my world. I'm so excited for the future that we have together, that we've planned out stuff, that I can't wait for, like, one, to happen, and two, to, like, show you guys in the upcoming months what's going on. Equally, the guys that I dated prior to my boyfriend who have remained in my life, I love them so much. They're my best friends. And I do mean that. They seriously are my best friends. They are my favorite people platonically. And I've never felt safer in my life, especially in comparison to the 3 years I was emotionally abused by someone who claimed to love me. But anyways, and I'm healthier. I've gained weight for the first time in years. I'm happier. I'm just happier. And I just don't know how to deal with that swirl of emotions that's heavy. And I'm not dealing with it alone. And I'm lucky to be in therapy. But it's an uncomfortable emotion or a bunch of emotions to sit with when you can't figure it out. It's almost like I want the person who hurt me to sit next to me and hold my hand through it, because they're the only one who understands the shit they put me through. And it's like my brain can't put into, like, it can't understand the words love and care with emotional abuse. It's like, how did we switch between the two? How did the two coexist? And I can't accept that I let myself also go through that for so long. So yeah, it's heavy emotions. And I think we have to be understanding of people who go through shit and still want to talk to that person, because closure is a thing, bruh. It's a thing. And it's hard to give it to yourself. I've done it many times before, and I'll do it again if I have to. Well, I do have to anyways. Regardless of if this person came back to apologize, I'll do it anyways. But it's a lot when it's abuse and it's emotional torture and it lasted a long time. And it's hard having so many new people around me, new boyfriend, new friends, as much as I love them, to be like, you didn't see me and how broken I was in that time. So it's hard for me to articulate all the things I want to articulate. Obviously, Flo knows, bestie. So I always go to her when I need to speak about it, which isn't often, but you know. It's hard shifting into a new chapter of your life when the old chapter of your life feels like, yes, you've shut it down, but it was almost so abruptly that half of you, not even half of you, a part of you was kind of left there in the sense of, what happened? Huh? And that part of you is still confused. Not at what they did or that you left it behind, but understanding it all at once is very hard to accept that someone who loved and cared about you could destroy you the way that man destroyed me. You don't even need to know me personally. You can go through my crying corners. All of them are about him, about me crying, about what he did to me. So it's a lot. It's uncomfortable, but I'm trying more recently to understand and remember the saying, when you're feeling an uncomfortable feeling, the only way to get out of it is to go through it and not around it. And so instead of avoiding it, I've just kind of been like sitting with that uncomfortableness. And you kind of just, when you sit in it, you kind of just hope, fuck, I really hope this fucking goes away. And I don't know if it will. And that sucks. Oh my God, does it suck? Because everything in my life is fine and I'm so happy. And then this tiny part of me is so heavy because it doesn't have closure or whatever other reason. And it's like, okay, well, I hope that this goes away. Naturally, and by sitting through it. So let's sit through our uncomfortable feelings together. And if you never got closure, I'm really sorry. And I hope you know that so much better things are ahead of you. Loads of people said that to me and didn't believe them, but it's true.